30, 60, 90. Okay, so 30, that means every 30 minutes of runtime. That does not mean like right now in 30 minutes. That means it needs to run for 30 minutes. So if it kicks on for 10 minutes and shuts off, it'll kick on for another 10 minutes, shut off, and then so it needs to do that 3 times. It needs to be total 30 minutes of runtime. Okay, and that's when it'll check, like you said, for voltage back. So if you wanted to test it, you can either get the sensor below 32 degrees. Some of them are 30 degrees, so you need to actually pull the sensor off and look at it. It'll say like 50 minus 30 or whatever it is. You can get that sensor if you wanted to test the sensor, make sure that's actually closing when it gets cold enough, right? Or like Adriel said, you can just, so in this case you have your DF, so your defrost right here, and then the other side will be connected to R. Alright, so from R, it's, we have 24 volts here obviously, but once it gets 24 volts back on DF, then it knows it needs to defrost. Okay, so technically you could just remove the sensor and just do a jumper between R and DF, and that would just prove that the board could then go into defrost. Okay, just because you are powering these, some of them are different, but most of the time you still have to do a speed up, right? Because it's not always checking, right? So just because we get 24 volts here does not mean it's going to automatically go into defrost.
Okay.
Right?
The defrost had 2 tabs for it itself, and you jumper those 2 tabs. I never jumpered it to R.
Yeah, so this on this specific, some of them are different. Some of them will have plugs that come off of here. Some of them will have individual wires. Okay, but basically, if 24 volts gets on this, right, and then the board then checks for it, then it knows it needs to defrost. Okay, but again, that's 30, 60, and 90. So even if you have it set at 30 minutes, it still needs to run for 30 minutes before it's even going to check for 24 volts on DF, right? So a lot of times there's like a speed up timer right here. All right, some of them will have like 2, I believe, which will be for the time delay, where you can speed up the time delay so it removes the time delay. Some of them will be for defrost. So let's say we jumper this out, okay? Or we put the defrost sensor in like a cup of ice water. Usually it doesn't work with ice water because it has to be below freezing, right? At that point, we just put a screwdriver or something metal and we just jumper between these two. You don't want to like just touch it and pull it away. You want to hold it there and wait. Once it kicks on, once you hear the compressor shift, like the reversing valve shift over, the fan stays off, then you know it's in defrost. Does that make sense? Okay. One final thing. We have these relays up here, right, for the defrost. Okay. A lot of times these will fail open, right, which will also look like the fan motors failed. So if your fan is not pulling amperage when it's running, right, that means it's not getting voltage and it's not currently drawing energy, right? So a quick way that you could determine if the relay is the issue, number one, you could just remove the wires and do a continuity test. It should always be closed unless it's in defrost, okay? But just to be sure, I always like to take the run wire off of the relay, go into the fan, and I'll connect it directly to the contactor, right? Because usually you'll have a wire that comes off, jumpers from the contactor, and then from there it goes to the motor, right? In this case, I'm just going to eliminate that. I'm going to unplug this, plug it directly to the contactor where this other wire is going, right? If it runs at that point, I know it's the defrost board. If it doesn't run at that point, it's all wired up correctly and it's the fan motor. Alright, there's more tests you should do, but that's just how you can do a quick little check and make sure it's not the defrost board. Okay? Alright, I think that's all I have to go over today.
Can I say something real quick? Whenever there's a low voltage short and it's pertaining to the outside, please check your wire rubs. I've been to a few calls where to replace the boards and it's not the board. It's a wire rub on Y or O. And what I did was just tape it up, take it away from the pipes, and a fuse doesn't pop in there. Wire rubs or pop the fuse. The low voltage.
Yeah, it's a good word. Yeah. You should go past the defrost board. The defrost board is not the final component in that circuit, right? O goes to the board and then it goes to the reversing valve. The reversing valve is the final component. right? We go all the way to the end. The contactor is the final component in the Y circuit, not the board, okay? So if you're getting a short all the way to the board, that does not indicate the board has failed. You have to take it a step further, like you said, make sure that there's no shorts between the defrost board and contactor. Okay? All that makes sense? All right, cool. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching. If you're willing, give this video a thumbs up and drop us a comment. Don't forget to hit that bell icon to stay updated with all of our future videos. And as a quick reminder, HVAC School isn't just a YouTube channel. Dive deeper with us at our main website, hvacrschool.com. Curious for more knowledge on the go? We've got you covered. Tune into the HVAC School podcast, available on all your favorite podcast apps. And while you're at it, join our thriving Facebook group. Also, don't miss out on our free mobile applications available for both iPhone and Android. We're all about community. For techs, by techs.